There are a lot of pyramids, but there's a lot more unexplained things about them, and we've got some here for you.
We're looking at pyramids from all around the world. We're not just going to Egypt this time.
Alright, the first unexplained secret is kind of glaringly obvious. It's the secret of how all of these pyramids were built, but not just how, why. From Egypt to Mexico, the Sumerians to the Mayans and Aztecs, the way the pyramids were built is a highly debated topic amongst scientists, historians, and archaeologists alike. Some believe that the ancient civilizations moved stone blocks using waterways, or external ramps, or sledges, or ropes, or rollers, or levers. Some suggest exterior ramps that either zigzagged or spiraled around the pyramids, while some suggest internal ramps, while some completely reject the idea that man would have been capable of such a feat without the assistance of modern day technology. I mean, even with modern day tech and tools, the feat of creating structures that mimic the design and magnitude of great pyramids around the world would still be an incredibly difficult undertaking today. And of course, some people believe that aliens were involved in their construction, but like I said, we've heard this all before. What I don't really hear talked about much is why the pyramids were built in the first place. Well, again, there's really no way of knowing. Some people say they were built to reach the gods. Some say they were built to align with the stars or one another across the globe. Some people claim that they were built to harness the power of Earth's magnetic field. Some believe they were created to store ancient knowledge. And it has been said that the Aztec and Mayan pyramids might have been used for sacrificial reasons, and some people believe that the pyramids were built under the order of an ancient alien species known as the Anunnaki. For now, we really just don't know, but if you have a theory, or if you agree with one of these, let us know down below.
Pyramid of the Sun is one of the largest pyramids in the world, but it is not in Egypt. It's the largest of the pyramids in the ancient city of Teotihuacan in Mexico, and it's the third largest pyramid in the entire world overall. It's huge, about 250 feet tall and 730 feet wide at its base. One of the big mysteries is, of course, who built it. Along with the rest of the city, people who built Teotihuacan didn't leave behind written records, so we don't really know much about them. We don't even know what they called themselves. The name Teotihuacan was given by the Aztecs, who discovered the city centuries later. It means the place where gods were born. And another mystery for this one is, of course, what Hannah mentioned: why was it built? Some think it was a temple dedicated to a sun god, hence the name, but that's just a guess. The pyramid was constructed around 200 AD, but it was abandoned by 750 AD for reasons we still don't really know. Inside the pyramid, archaeologists have found tunnels and chambers, but their purpose is still not clear. In 1971, a secret tunnel was found under the pyramid leading to a cave, and some believe this cave might have been a sacred place of some sort. There's also the question of how they were built. The pyramid was constructed using millions of tons of volcanic rock without the help of modern tools, so it's really quite the feat.
Next up, we're bringing it back to Egypt to discuss the secret chamber that has been hidden within the Great Pyramid of Giza for 4,500 years. When the massive 150-meter, 490-foot pyramid was rediscovered in the 19th century, it was determined that it had been built for Pharaoh Khufu, the second pharaoh of the 4th dynasty in Egypt. When the pyramid was originally explored, only 3 chambers and a whole lot of empty space revealed themselves to the team working on mapping the discovery. In 2017, however, a new discovery came to light. Using advanced scanning equipment, a new team was able to find signs of a hidden chamber, and a massive one at that. Unfortunately, the team was not able to reach the chamber, as it appears as though it was filled and sealed during the construction of the Great Pyramid. There are no tunnels, no corridors, no entrances or exits to this room. It has been completely closed off to the world, meaning we have no way, as of right now, of knowing what's inside of it. Whatever it is, it seems like Pharaoh Khufu worked really hard to make sure it stays sealed inside of his pyramid with him forever, which of course just makes myself and many others all the more curious about what could possibly be hiding within this secret sealed chamber.
Next, we head to the Canary Islands with the Pyramids of Guimar. The Pyramids of Guimar and Tenerife, Spain, are a set of mysterious structures made entirely from volcanic lava stones stacked without mortar. Archaeologists haven't found any other signs of an ancient civilization in the area, so again, the mystery here is who built them and why. One theory by Thor Heyerdahl is that they could have been signs of a connection of some sort between Egypt and Central America. He thinks there could have been a link between them in ancient times. In 1991, researchers from the Canary Institute of Astrophysics found that some of the pyramids align with the solstices. The long sides of these structures point to the sunset on the summer solstice, and the stairs on the western side face the sunrise on the winter solstice. On the largest pyramid, if you stand on its platform during the summer solstice, you'll see a double sunset. The sun first sets behind one mountain, then reappears briefly before setting again behind another peak. So it's pretty cool, but they still don't know exactly why they were built or even when.
Next up, we're taking it back to Egypt to discuss a tunnel located not inside of, but underneath the Great Pyramid of Giza, all that it holds and all that it entails. While most pyramids, including the Great Pyramid of Giza, have tunnels that go throughout the interior of the structures connecting various chambers, the Great Pyramid of Giza just so happens to have one underneath it as well. Archaeologists were shocked when they discovered the presence of a tunnel not in, but as I said, beneath the pyramid during an expedition back in 2023. The tunnel is about 30 feet deep, 9 meters long, and while it sits close to the entrance of the pyramid, it is, as far as we are aware, not connected to any of the tunnel systems inside of the massive structure. The tunnel was discovered via ultrasonic radar testing, and while some scientists believe that it was dug in an attempt to optimize the weight distribution of the Great Pyramid, there is no definitive answer on what the tunnel is actually used for. However, if it was used to optimize weight distribution, that kind of opens a whole nother box of questions about the capabilities and the knowledge of ancient Egyptians.
The Nubian Pyramids in Sudan. There are more than 200 of these pyramids built by the rulers of the ancient kingdom of Kush, which is around from about 2500 BC to 300 AD. The Nubian pyramids were built much later than the Egyptian ones. One of the big differences is their shape. I mean, looking at these, the Nubian pyramids are much steeper and narrower than the Egyptian ones. They often have small temples in front of them where people would make offerings to the dead. Another interesting thing is that these pyramids were built in clusters. The most famous sites are at Meroe, Nuri, and El Kuru. Meroe alone has around 40 of these pyramids, and it's one of the most impressive sites. So the purpose of these pyramids? Well, one of the uses is similar to the Egyptian ones. They were tombs for kings and queens, but unlike the Egyptians who buried their dead inside the pyramids, the Nubians would bury their dead in chambers below the pyramids. The Nubian pyramids aren't as well known as the Egyptian ones, of course. Might be because they're more remote, making them harder to visit. Plus, a lot of these ones were looted in ancient times, so there's fewer treasures and artifacts that have been left behind.
Let's talk a bit more about the Great Pyramid of Giza and how it is quite clearly connected with the stars. While the correlations between the pyramids and the cosmos are highly debated in mainstream science, there are truly just too many coincidences to ignore. For instance, the layout of the three pyramids of Giza mimicked the separation between the three stars of the constellation Orion's Belt, which is already pretty crazy, but it actually gets crazier because in the 1960s, there were two air shafts discovered in the Great Pyramid of Giza stemming from the King's Chamber, opening up on either side of the pyramid. But why would the dead need an air shaft? Simply put, they wouldn't, but what they might need is access to the heavens, a theory supported by the fact that the two shafts located in the pyramid point directly at where both the North Star on one side and Orion's Belt on the other would have sat in the sky at the time of the Great Pyramid's construction, which was also built to have all four of its corners align almost perfectly with north, south, east, and west. The whole thing is really just one big mystery. Researchers have spent countless hours pondering how ancient Egyptians were able to achieve such precise positioning. The only thing they could come up with is that the people who built the pyramids meticulously studied the sun, but as is with all of the other points on this list, as of right now, we really just don't know.
Next up, we have a mysterious structure found underwater that may or may not have been a natural formation. We've talked about underwater pyramids before. There's the Yonaguni Monument in Japan. There's all kinds of these. This one, though, in Portugal is one I've never heard of until today. So in 2013, an underwater pyramid was discovered by Diociliano Silva between two islands in Portugal. Silva stated that the pyramid is perfectly shaped and aligned, perfectly squared and lined up with the cardinal points, north, south, east, and west. The pyramid was found in a part of the mid-Atlantic that's been underwater for about 20,000 years though, and the oldest human civilization in the area didn't come about until about 17,000 years later. So which civilization, if any, could have built it before the area was submerged?
Next up, wow, you guys, I really hopped on the Giza train today, but to be honest with you, I'm not even sorry about it. The Great Pyramid of Giza is a fascinating ancient structure that contains the tomb of Pharaoh Khufu, air shafts leading to the stars, perfectly aligned corners, and also swivel doors. Bear with me. Believe it or not, the massive Great Pyramids were at one time equipped with massive 20-ton entrances that could be operated with a simple push from a single hand. Massive swivel doors were carefully crafted by ancient Egyptians to align with their openings so well they would almost disappear into the sides of the pyramids. These doors were also so perfectly balanced that all that was required to open them was a slight push using minimal force, the same force likely required to open a standard light wooden door today. How the Egyptians were able to achieve such an amazing feat is entirely unknown, not to mention how they got the doors there in the first place. They would have had to balance massive and extremely heavy stones used for the doors absolutely perfectly with absolutely no help from modern technology or mathematics. It sounds impossible, but of course somehow they did it and we do not know how. It's an unexplained mystery.
And of course, one of the biggest mysteries of ancient Egypt is the location of Cleopatra's tomb. But archaeologist Kathleen Martinez may have gotten closer to solving the mystery. A tunnel was found. A tunnel that may actually lead to her tomb. The discovery of the tunnel was made beneath the temple ruins of Taposiris Magna. The tunnel, which is being called a geometric miracle, was found 13 meters below the ground and spans an impressive 1,300 meters in length, carved into the sandstone of the area. As for what the tunnel was for, that's the exciting part. They're still not clear on it, especially since parts of it are submerged underwater. But Kathleen Martinez, the archaeologist leading the expedition, believes that this tunnel could be a huge lead in uncovering her tomb, which would be absolutely incredible. Taposiris Magna is believed to be dedicated to the gods Osiris and Isis. The archaeological teams found sculptures of Isis, they found coins depicting Cleopatra and Alexander the Great, and other artifacts at the site, like an entire burial ground filled with mummies. And of course, eventually, they're gonna find out where this tunnel leads, so we'll just have to sit patiently and wait until then.
I am not ready for whatever curse they release when they open Cleopatra's tomb.
That would be the biggest curse of the entire century, probably.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be scarabs crawling up your underpants.
Get excited for that.
Yeah, that's what you're into, for sure.
We'll catch you next time.
Cheers.